Hello and welcome into another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right here on PHNX. And I say Diamondbacks because as far as we're concerned, the D-backs are gone. That is gone. It's off the jersey. It's out of here. Of course, this show is presented to you by our friends at OG's, which is all about flavoring life. Flavor your Fridays by heading to ZenleafDispensaries.com and use code PHNX at checkout for 25% off. I, of course, am very excited to be joined once again by my hot tag team partner, one and only Patty Plantains, Patrick Lyons from DNVR. Patty, welcome back. I missed you terribly.
I'm very glad to be back in the Valley, even if it is virtually. I'm glad to be here.
We have to tell everybody a secret that we have, that you and I have. And I mean that because you've kind of ruined my life. Right now, my throat is so itchy and sore and unsoothed. And the reason why is because, much like Jim did to Dwight in The Office with Altoids, you have conditioned me over the weeks that we did this show together to having a Hall's menthol lozenge. That before every single show. Before every show. So now when these lights come on, Patty, I'm immediately like, why is my throat so sore and so uncoated? And it's because of you. You have turned me into, look at that. I hate you. You're an absolute monster. You're an absolute monster. But I do have to say, when it came to the postseason, you were my MVP around here because you made the sacrifices of your family and your time to come cover this team with me during the World Series and the postseason. I appreciate you for that. But let's talk about baseball's MVPs because those awards came out. Shohei Ohtani, of course, your American League MVP, and Ronald Acuna Jr., your National League MVP. No surprises here for either of these guys.
No, absolutely not. I don't know that it was a surprise that both of them would be unanimous. I think there was some worry if, Ohtani had enough of a track record, obviously being shut down on the pitching side. But yeah, a historic year for that to happen with both guys getting all 30 votes. In fact, also kind of strange that in the National League, you had all 30 BBWAA voters agreeing that Mookie Betts was definitively the number 2. That had never happened before in MVP voting, which I think is really interesting. I love poring over ballots and how people voted. Yeah. And I was maybe disappointed this year. I think, the voters did a really solid job. There wasn't anybody whose ballot I looked at for anything, for MVP, Cy Young Award, Rookie of the Year, or Manager of the Year that I could look at and go, I think you might not have been paying attention. I think everyone did a good job, and they definitely got the MVP vote right.
Yeah, and obviously Shohei makes a little bit of history here himself. No surprise there. I know this obviously isn't going to impact his value anymore because his value really couldn't be any higher. But it really, like you said, when it comes to the fact he's shut down pitching wise for next year, that couldn't have come at a worse time for a player that was about to receive one of the most insane contracts in baseball history. But again, just such a lovable guy. Great for Shohei to see him getting that award.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's the first player to ever have 2 unanimous MVP awards, which is also kind of wild to think. I think this was like the first time both AL and NL MVP was unanimous since like 1931. There was some kind of 1931 statistic in there that I was plenty excited about. Yeah, Ohtani, man, he's going to make a lot of money, and he's going to do it quietly because apparently, according to his entourage, his camp, they don't want word getting out about what team have spoken to him where and for how long. And if that information does see the light of day, then that will reflect negatively upon that team. So feel free to make as many rumors as you'd like about the Diamondbacks meeting with Ohtani.
Okay,
and the
I
Rockies
will.
Ohtani. We can do it.
I absolutely will do that. It's good for SEO. We all know that. But Ohtani is just one of those guys that, like, it's rare that a player can win back-to-back MVP awards unanimously like this in any sport and not really have there be a doubt, right? Like, I think every baseball fan, everybody I know, like, they're like, yeah, Shohei is just such a special player that we never see in this game that it's without a doubt. Like, I don't see any argument about him being, considered the most valuable player.
The only surprise is probably that he doesn't have more than 2 at this point, just from what he's been able to do. And I think last year, as time goes by, it will probably age poorly that Aaron Judge was the MVP, breaking a league record, not an MLB, not a baseball record, just the American League. No one had hit more than 61 home runs in the American League. Roger Maris had that record, so he hit 62, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, let's kind of give him that. But still, Shohei Ohtani was just as good, if not better, in 2022 and probably deserving of that award. It's kind of like Mike Trout, all those years where he was behind Miguel Cabrera, and you look and go, well, he did win the Triple Crown, so all right, let's give it to Miggy because Trout will be there many more times. But we might look back and say, man, he only had 2 MVPs through the 2023 season. It definitely will be his second of many more.
We have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to Diamondbacks, but flipping over to the National League side, Ronald Acuna Jr., again, a guy we knew was the odds-on favorite to win it, kind of the favorite all year, much like Corbin Carroll was for the Rookie of the Year. So, again, no surprise there considering what he did leading that Braves team. But it just feels a little bit like, again, it's kind of like what we talked about when it comes to Brian Schnichter. The idea here of the Braves and the fact that it's just such a complete team, at times it's hard to pinpoint one of those guys as being the most valuable player. But I know you like to look at this, so let's take a look at the voting breakdown here for the National League, because as you can see here, like you said, it was unanimous for Mookie Betts there for the second spot. It was unanimous for Ronald Acuna there for the overall MVP. And then things kind of go all over the place. Of course, you do have both Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson also in the top 5, which is no surprise because both of those guys were very good. But they're at 5th. Our very own baby boy Corbin Carroll with 25th place votes ends up being your 5th place finisher for the National League MVP. I know at times he flirted with being a part of this group and a part of this talk, and obviously things didn't go exactly that way. We knew by the end of the season that he'd kind of fallen out of that race, but it's very exciting to have our young Rookie of the Year also finishing 5th here in National League most valuable, player voting. This is incredible.
And he was on all 30 ballots. That's another thing worth mentioning too. He was the last of those 5 guys to be on all 30 ballots. And you'd think there would be more than that when voters are able to go 10 deep on their ballots. But again, you can see as you look further down the ballot, when you get to a Juan Soto, great season. Austin Riley, great season. Luis Arias flirting with 400. You got Cody Bellinger, who's a free agent. And, he's going to make close to $200 million. No one can agree on where they're at once you get to 6th, 7th, and 8th place. So even that is, I think, a real accomplishment to be listed on all 30 ballots like Corbin Carroll was able to this year.
It's just been an incredible year for him. And I know that your Colorado Rockies have a lot of young, exciting players, kind of in a similar position as the Diamondbacks, just not getting, the attention due to the run specifically that the Diamondbacks here in the postseason. But Corbin just, again, he's getting all the praise. And much like we were kind of talking about with Shohei there a bit, he deserves it. There are a few people in baseball that don't think that Corbin Carroll was by far the best Rookie of the Year. I even saw articles when they were talking about the Rookie of the Year that just kind of said, Corbin Carroll's going to win it. Let's talk about the other guys that are kind of like part of the pack. Like, it was just such a matter of fact kind of thing when it came to him. But I think, finishing 5th does show the impact that this guy has had on this team.
And obviously, when you go 25-50 with home runs and stolen bases, something that no rookie had ever done before, and something I don't think that we'd actually seen before Ronald Acuna was able to get to those heights, you could look at some of the other candidates in Rookie of the Year award voting and say, well, Kodai Senga, I mean, was really dominant, had a great year as a pitcher, and you could potentially make the case for him having been the Rookie of the Year. You could look at a Nolan Jones from the Colorado Rockies and say, well, sure, he had about 2 months less than Corbin Carroll, but he was able to reach 20 homers and 20 stolen bases, did have a better OPS plus, even when you look at those park factors. And again, maybe try to make an argument about other players being the Rookie of the Year. But it's actually, when you look at the value, that's really where the conversation, I think, changes. And you say, well, wait a minute, forget about being a rookie or not. The fact that Corbin Carroll was at the top of a lineup for a team that was, one of the best in baseball, and sure, they floundered during the summer, but going into the postseason and getting those 84 wins. And then in the postseason, obviously that's not a part of the voting, but you got to see how valuable he was to this team. When Corbin went, the Diamondbacks went. If Corbin wasn't as chaotic as he was, there would have been no chaos in the Valley. So value-wise, for the MVP part of that phrase, of that award, I mean, Corbin Carroll's value, I think, is arguably even more than what he was able to do just as a rookie alone.
Ketel Marte had 8 stolen bases in 2023. And I think all 8 stolen bases that he had occurred mostly because Corbin Carroll was stealing a base at the same time and he was able to double steal. It's basically that, like, when you talk about Corbin Carroll and creating that chaos, that's like, it's things like that absolutely were an example of that and how this team kind of went in the direction that Corbin Carroll went at times. But, it is weird. It's interesting that the Diamondbacks have, this player that's emerged so quickly that became, and honestly, Gabriel Moreno too, another young player, another guy playing his first full season of baseball like he did, that seemed to be a huge reason why this team, was able to win games at times. So it's just exciting, and it's great to see, him getting that recognition. At times we here in Arizona tend to say that our guys don't get recognized like they should. And I definitely don't feel like that was the case for Corbin Carroll this year. He definitely earned it and received the high praise and the attention that he deserves.
And now would be the time where you could say, all right, let's talk about his MVP candidacy a little bit, but then, you might fall into the trap of talking a little bit more about the extension and what you got to do. And, you got to worry about trading this guy away. You had to do it with Paul Goldschmidt and Zach Greinke, and you can't keep a guy like that. You do not have that conversation at all. Dude's locked up here. Yeah. Genius work by Mike Hazen. One of the reasons why he's going to be sticking around for so long in Phoenix. And again, you just say, wow, everything's really going right. Even when you get into the offseason and you start saying, well, there's a reason they only won 84 games. They got to play a little bit better next year. There's still so many things that are going right now for this franchise. And Corbin Carroll is 1A right now, and his extension is 1B. It's fantastic.
As a sports fan, the one thing you worry about is devoting your heart sometimes, right? And that could go towards the team itself or towards a player, right? Like, you've been hurt before, especially if you're, age 30 and above and you've been a sports fan your whole life. As a kid, you didn't know any better. You get your heart broken by a player or a team. There's a lot of Diamondbacks fans that got their heart broken by, Paul Goldschmidt leaving the Valley because that guy was our guy. And like, the beautiful part about it is the Diamondbacks unveiled today their new jerseys, and Corbin Carroll is going to be here for a very long time. So there's never been a time better than now to buy a Corbin Carroll jersey, because that the jerseys will at least be around for 7 years because that's our time frame. And Corbin Carroll will at least be around for that length of time. So we have lots to be happy about when it comes to being able to acquire a brand new Corbin Carroll jersey here in the Valley. But Of course, we're just.
I'm a shirt guy. I would rather a brand new Corbin Carroll shirt, but that's just me. Do you know where I could get one of those, perhaps?
I might know where you can get one of those that would, in fact, immortalize his rookie season. And this is why I missed you so much, Patrick. David, put the shirt up. Let's put the shirt up. We need to put the Corbin Carroll shirt up. Go to the PHNXlocker.com. Get this shirt. It's an incredible shirt. You can get this shirt today. Of course, it honors the 25-50 season, honors him being a machine, and of course, most importantly, it honors all of the wonderful things that we have talked about Corbin Carroll deserving from his incredible season. So go out there, PHNX Locker, get this shirt. If you are a diehard member, you will get this shirt for 20% off. If you are not a diehard member, you can sign up today, and you will get that shirt for absolutely free as part of your package or whatever shirt you select from the PHNXlocker.com. So make sure to do that today. And thank you, Patrick, for that assist. I appreciate you on that. Of course.
You already have the colors. The new colors are there too. That's great.
New colors. I know. It's like we knew. It's like we knew ahead of time. I don't know. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we're just lucky. I don't know. But I will say this. You can be lucky maybe with the BetMGM Sportsbook app, because if you haven't downloaded it yet, you haven't tried it out yet, you can do so today and get yourself $200 in bonus bets instantly by using our promo code of PHNX. All you have to do is download the Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit betmgm.com to sign up using our code of PHNX. Deposit at least $10 into your newly created account and place a wager in that amount of at least $10 at a standard odds price, so you can bet more. But once you have placed a qualifying bet, you will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly, regardless of the outcome of your wager. And of course, as Patty was here for, I was using my bets to curse the opposing team, because the playoffs were on the line. There was a lot there, but college basketball, let's make some money. So get over there, get your same game parlay action on, and get those $200 instantly in free bets. All you got to do, once again, is sign up for BetMGM. Use bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the Sportsbook application of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details, and now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Ontario. Oh, we were just off a little bit, but all right. Well, of course, we are still exploring how this Diamondbacks team can continue to get better. We know how we know they're going to look better in 2024. We will get to those new jerseys here shortly, but we are trying to figure out how this team can get to that next step, which at this point is winning the World Series. So, who can help them get there? Well, when it comes to our free agent frenzy, we turned to our old friend, Mike Clevinger, who, of course, has kind of a notorious reputation a bit. We know Bob Brenly and Mike Clevinger still don't see necessarily eye to eye on his batting or on his approach or his delivery, but he had himself a hell of a season in 2023. He pitched 131 innings. He went 9-9, 3.77 ERA, not terrible, 1.23 WHIP. You don't hate this. You don't hate these numbers. 110K, 40 walks. So what are your thoughts on Clevinger as a potential option for the D-backs?
Yeah, I think he's a fit for what he's been able to do over his career. Obviously had the Tommy John surgery, so missed a lot of time going back to 2020 and 2021. But you look what he was able to do in the early part of his career. He's a little bit older now, right? I think he's going to his age 33 season. Padres, he knows this division a little bit. It's been a while since he's been in the NLS, but as a member of the Padres in his age 26 to 28 season, when he was with Cleveland, put up some big numbers. And that was back when the American League was the only league that had the DH, had a sub-3 ERA there. So he's a guy where his skill set definitely plays up. You saw that last year, I think, a little bit with Chicago. And so I don't think it would really require a major deal for the Diamondbacks to fit him into that rotation as kind of a veteran number 3 guy. And I say number 3 because you go, hey, Brandon Pfaadt, don't relax. You're good. Not too much pressure on you to have to step up and fill that like number 3 role. So I think a veteran guy like Mike Clevinger And you might even not need to give him a 4-year deal. I'm sure he would probably be seeking that here in Colorado, something long-term, like, hey, this is probably gonna be my final payday if I go to Denver.
Yeah.
So maybe a 2-3 year deal kind of gets that job done, and you don't have to pay too much for him and doesn't take up too much of that payroll. So I think he's a guy that has a certain skill set that now that he's had that second Tommy John, which you don't love, but that probably means some of his worst days injury-wise are behind him. And he certainly would probably love to get back and do a little tormenting of the Padres here as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know Bob Brenly and Clevinger had the little thing about his delivery. There might be questions definitely about if he's a fit for the clubhouse, because right now that's something for the Diamondbacks that is an asset. They are a connected team, and there are guys that you could potentially bring in that disrupt that connection a bit. I don't know if that's a big concern. I think that, for instance, Tommy Pham didn't have the best reputation, and he ended up being one of the best guys in the Diamondbacks clubhouse, at least according to his teammates and according to people within the organization. So sometimes that reputational stuff can be overblown. What I like about Clevinger is the idea here that the Diamondbacks could potentially, get that guy that has that, 3.5 ERA next season that could potentially fit in and really help this starting rotation without costing as much as a lot of these other options that we've been discussing and are going to discuss are going to end up costing. He did decline a 1-year, $12 million deal, and he's looking for a multi-year deal. But, I mean, as far as, like you said, he's 33 years old, so every player essentially wants a multi-year deal when they're getting at that point of their career, because they know that any deal they get could potentially be their last one.
Yeah, and he's on the precipice of the end of his career, as you said, and this might be his last, larger size deal. He started his career out going to the World Series with Cleveland there in 2016 against the Cubs, and probably thought when he was going to San Diego, like, hey, all right, I might have another opportunity to possibly get a ring. So I think that's a big pull for him. And as you pointed out, Tommy Pham, the Diamondbacks aren't afraid to bring in someone that maybe has a less than stellar reputation. And for Mike Clevinger, he was investigated for domestic violence by MLB, but was cleared of that. So I think that's a strength that the Diamondbacks have, is that a connected ability. It's a dangerous ability as well, and so it might allow you to take a chance on a guy like that and bring that player in and say, this is a safe place. We're going to support you. We're going to work on things. We're also going to make sure that we don't take any guff. Like you still got to behave here. And Tommy Pham was great, and I think Clevinger could possibly benefit from that same thing, and could end up being a really good destination, a win-win situation that might allow Clevinger to take a little bit less money because he's comfortable with what Torey Lovullo has been able to build here in the Diamondbacks clubhouse.
Well, speaking of former Cleveland Guardians, Cal Quantrill is now a member of the Rockies. What were your thoughts on that trade?
Yeah, this morning got the word that guy that the Guardians basically just didn't want to pay his what he was going to make in arbitration, and said, he got a little bit too pricey. Bill Schmidt doing a really nice job swinging in there, only giving up a minor league catcher, Cody Huff, who has a decent little bit of upside, but the Rockies have a ton of catching depth right now. So you take from the strength, you deal from that, and you improve your starting pitching. Rockies need at least 2 starting pitchers, and Cal Quantrill is going to eat up some innings. Wasn't great last year, ERA north of 5, but previously before that was really solid. So I think that's is a great trade for what the Rockies need right now. I think he still has even another year of club control after 2024. So nice deal. Good way to kickstart the offseason. Last offseason got kickstarted with another trade with the Guardians where they acquired Nolan Jones. So, hey, Bill Schmidt going back to the well once again. Maybe it works once again.
That ended up working out pretty well for you guys. But speaking of a trade, the Diamondbacks have said that they are going to try to pull out all the stops when it comes to making this team better. And based on analyzing some of the options at third base, not a lot of stuff out there on free agency. Diamondbacks could end up making a trade for starting pitching as well. One of the names they've been recently linked to is Corbin Burnes from the Milwaukee Brewers, who has 1 year left on his deal. And according to his appearance today on Foul Territory, it sounds very much like if he does get traded, that he will be It won't be like a sign and extension kind of thing. He's going to play one more season and then probably go for that big payday for himself there after the season. But taking a look at Corbin Burnes' stats, I think I Smell Freedom said, hell yeah, another right-handed pitcher. Well, if you were interested in that right-handed pitcher, may I interest you in another right-handed pitcher here in Corbin Burnes? But obviously we know Burnes is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Had 193.2 innings pitched last year, went 10-8 with the Brewers, 3.39 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 200 strikeouts on the nose with 66 walks. And again, there's just something about Burnes that like you feel like it would cost a lot, but considering he only has 1 year left on the deal, that it might not cost as much as we thought. There are some rumored packages per The Athletic, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. One package would be trading Yumin Lin, Jack Hurley, and Christian Robinson, who the Diamondbacks have already DFA'd and had come back to them within the organization as potentially one trade package for Corbin Burnes. We do know Yumin Lin is probably one of the Diamondbacks' hottest pitching prospects in their minor league system right now, but still probably a little ways away from making a major league debut. Another package is potentially Davison De Los Santos and Ivan Melendez for Corbin Burnes. Just as an outsider here, do you like either of those deals? Is that something you would be willing to pursue for essentially what could be just 1 year of Corbin Burnes?
Yeah, you definitely want to avoid getting only one bite at the apple here because Diamondbacks, we know their window is wide open right now, and you don't want it
right
coming down even a tiny bit by giving up too much out of your prospect pool.
Yeah.
Ivan Melendez, I think there's still a lot to be figured out, a lot of swing and miss, but got ton of power, looked solid during the Arizona Fall League when I was able to get out there a little bit to watch the Salt River Rafter. So, he's a guy that, obviously there's some trepidation to possibly deal him, but I think to a degree, first baseman can grow on trees. I mean, look what the Diamondbacks were able to do just picking up Christian Walker, a guy who was blocked down in Baltimore, and they finally slowly work him into it, and they got themselves a kind of a franchise first baseman there for 5 or so years. So I think you're okay dealing with him. Obviously, with the buzz right now on Yumin Lin, a young starting pitcher, I think is going to see some time at Double-A this year. Maybe a little bit more questionable. I think Tommy Troy could be one of those guys where you could get away with dealing him, especially with the top prospect Jordan Lawler, inserting there in shortstop. So if you got Geraldo Perdomo, which I know some people like Jerry P a little bit this last offseason. I'm not really sure who, but I heard some buzz around the PHNX offices about Jerry P. But you got Perdomo and you got Jordan Lawler at shortstop. Do you need Tommy Troy? Maybe that's something that moves the needle and gets a deal for Corbin Burnes done.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, who knows, right? I don't really know if the Diamondbacks, like you said, because of how wide open that window is, if they really want to pursue a deal like that. But at the same time, I mean, getting Corbin Burnes within your organization and maybe impressing him a bit with being here might be a way to win his heart, if you will. Maybe get him to sign that extension with us here. But who knows? Who knows how this is all going to play out? Because the Diamondbacks have a lot of directions they could go. They've talked about having, like this, windfall, this economic windfall from the postseason. And I know that you very much are familiar with an organization that makes money but doesn't really like to spend it. So we're hoping that that is not the case for the Diamondbacks this offseason. I've also just been cautious about, again, getting too tantalized by how close you got to the World Series and changing direction, because potentially now, you could go with higher price free agents that are going to have you moving on from the younger guys in the organization, or maybe trading those younger guys. That's why at least this trade package for Corbin Burnes, both of these, it doesn't involve any of the major, players here as far as guys that the fan base are looking forward to. And, of course, guys that can make a big impact soon.
And you could be able to like sweeten the deal a little bit with some, additional pieces that allows the Diamondbacks to also like bring in a reliever like a Joel Payamps, who was really solid for the Brewers this past year. If you need another lefty in the bullpen, Hobie Milner. So, there are guys that the Brewers are not going to balk at including, like, hey, we're not going to make this trade because of this 7th inning arm. Like, no, all right, well, we'll go ahead and include him. So you could play around a little bit if you're worried about, giving up, a prospect like Tommy Troy. And again, by the time Tommy Troy comes to fruition, by that point, maybe Ketel Marte is more of a DH type. Maybe you move him to the outfield, and so Tommy Troy's your second baseman, or maybe he slides to third base. So a lot can still, definitely happen. And to your point about, re-signing Corbin Burnes, a lot of guys want to go to free agency. A lot of guys want to see what's out there. And no matter how much they enjoy their time with a certain team in a certain city, in a certain franchise, they're going to sign with whoever is the highest bid. A lot of those guys, if not all of those guys, are clients of Scott Boras. Corbin Burnes is not a client of Scott Boras.
Yeah.
He's a CAA Sports, or his agency. So that does lend to this idea that, hey, maybe you are able to kind of woo him a little bit. Sure, he's going to listen to some offers. You could also even have the potential to get a qualifying offer, right? If Corbin Burnes says he wants to leave Phoenix or just go to the highest bidder, you give him a qualifying offer next year. If he declines it, then you get a compensation pick going forward. So it still allows you to have a little something even after the fact as well.
Just so you know, Robert Beshens and his football slider are still causing havoc here in Arizona. But according to Robert Beshens, they're going to have 10 guys in AAA that know how to throw the football slider, stiff wrist, throw it like football. You guys got all that. But how's the weather like in Denver right now, Patrick? How is the weather like where you're at? Is it cold?
No, it's pretty solid. I saw some dude with a t-shirt and shorts on earlier. It's like mid 60s. It's nice if you're in the sun.
That's cold. That's cold to me because I'm from Arizona, but it's wonderful here right now. And of course, it's patio season, which means patio beers at Illegal Pete's. Am I right? Illegal Pete's, strongest margaritas. I know Patrick knows nothing about the margaritas, but Patrick does know about reverse nachos. Oh, I got him drinking.
Stuff right there, man.
I got him drinking. Yeah,
that's
the reverse
stuff.
nachos.
You'll keep your hands cleaner. Your hands will be so much cleaner.
It just makes so much sense. I don't even want regular nachos ever since you told me about reverse nachos. And I didn't even realize they were called that. But all of that is available. Of course, if Sean was here, he'd tell you double protein, right? Double queso or queso on double it. Walk. I don't know. See, it's like he's fading away in my memory. I don't even remember who Sean is anymore. Sean, he existed? Well, the ghost of Sean would tell you Illegal Pete's is the place to be this fall. Of course, they have their full menu of irresistible drinks, mouth-watering food. That will all fill your heart's desire. And like I said, patio season is the time of the year. Be outside. Enjoy the wonderful weather. Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot this fall. Stop by for happy hour from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day at all 12 locations. Illegal Pete's, the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers for over 28 years.
It's always Patty L season, but right now it's Patty O season at Illegal Pete's.
I didn't want to do that. I can't believe you did that. And
now it's like, that's why Patrick's not with us.
Yeah, that's why we don't want this guy here.
Arf.
All right. Well, again, a great way for you to enjoy this show and the hijinks of Patty Plantain over here is with a little wink of THC. And you can get that through our friends at Wink. It's a seltzer drink. It gives you just a little wink of THC. And allows you to not view life from the sidelines. It lets you get in, get involved. There's no third-party producers. Wink is a 0-calorie, 0 sugar, 0 alcohol drink, and it'll get you balanced, light, and social. You can check it out wherever you get any of your marijuana-related products. Tastes like your favorite refreshing flavored seltzer. It's available either in a 2.5 milligram or 5 milligram can. You can find Wink right here in Arizona. Look for Wink at all Sunday Good dispensaries in the Valley and Botanica dispensaries in Tucson. You can also save money online by going to drinkwink, that's WYNK.com, and using promo code PHNX for 20% off. And of course, THC is great, but it's even better when you get 20% off. So make sure to check that out. We thank you guys again for being here. Make sure to grab that t-shirt over at the PHNXlocker.com. You know the one. It's for the 5th place MVP, the 1st place Rookie of the Year, and also he's number 1 in my heart. It's the one and only Corbin shirt, available at the PHNXlocker.com. Of course, if you are a diehard, you can get that shirt for 20% off. And if you sign up today, you'll get it for free. Like you said, though, earlier, Patrick, these shirts right here are available in beautiful, bright red. And that is something that looks like it is more apparent now with the Diamondbacks' new jersey unveil today. They also have teal being incorporated into all of the designs. We saw 4 new designs. It's a white, a black, a red, and a gray road jersey. And I wanted to get your initial impressions about the new set.
Yeah, it looks really solid so far. I was actually talking recently on the DNVR Rockies podcast that it felt like it's been at least 15 minutes since the Diamondbacks have had new uniforms.
Yeah.
So I think it's fitting that this goes down like this. And they pop. The colors do pop.
You're gonna say that.
I
You're
like
gonna
them.
say
I
that
do
while
like
you're gonna say that while you're just drenched in purple. You're gonna say that while you just stole back the color that we kind of stole from you, considering you guys existed first. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean,
they're nice. They're really nice.
They're really nice. Let's take a look at the jerseys here. You can see all 4. They got little details about them. The off-white, no longer that super clean, super vibrant white that we saw last year. More of an off-white. They say here that the classic off-white uniform is reminiscent of the team's original 1998 uniform, which was, in fact, off-white. There is that black and teal jersey right there that might quite possibly be one of the greatest jerseys in franchise history because it is so absolutely electric. It just absolutely pops off of that black jersey with all of that teal, the teal accent. They went kind of with that Tigers, look of the jersey style. They have the D on the side. Diamondbacks went with the A over there on the left side. It's just a good look. I really like those 2 jerseys. What are your thoughts there, Damon Dog?
Well, I wanted to point out how much I like the D hat.
The D hat. The D is back. The D snake logo. Referenced at times as the Disney D, but today Espo clarified for me that this one is not because it is the Disney D is more rounded and this one has like the sharp edges and stuff to it, including the snake head and there at the bottom of the D. I love it. I love all the caps. I think the caps look clean. And then there in the bottom corner is the big one we were talking about is the Diamondbacks being back.
The ugly stepchild of these 4 uniforms.
Yeah, the stepchild. See, look, you know what? After seeing them, especially on Jerry P with the teal sleeve, it goes incredibly hard. And the red hat with the teal D outline, I love that look. I think it's great. The whole word Diamondbacks is across the front. It does look a little crunched up, but there's a lot of letters in it. And I like it more than D-backs being on the front.
That's my favorite one and it's not because Geraldo Perdomo is wearing it, guys.
It absolutely is because of that. That's bullshit, Patrick, and you know it.
Yeah, that's true. But if they put him in the off-white one, you're right. I probably would have picked that one as well. But yeah, with the Diamondbacks and the color, like you said, the sleeve, like the accent's really good. The black one, I don't love as much as the other ones, but hearing you talk about it and just looking at it longer with the teal piping, I'm like, actually, that's still really good for what would be my 3rd best choice and the one that Gabby's wearing with the Diamondbacks D, like the road grays, like even those really seem to pop. I think this is nice. I think what they had previously was great as well. So I don't know how much of an upgrade it is in general, but overall, what I'm seeing, it's really nice.
What I like about it is a couple of things. I think one thing I like about it is the fact that it's kind of a classic look, right? And the Diamondbacks jerseys kind of have always been a little bit more on trying to be the cutting edge. We had the gradient jersey, just some of their designs, some of the color choices they've used. It feels like they've tried to do something different and less traditional. So going with the more traditional, like jersey with the piping, down the middle and the logo on one side, I think I like it a lot just because of that, But the other thing too, and this is something Espo pointed out the couple of times we've talked about these jerseys, is just giving this generation of Diamondbacks players their own look. Giving these guys, like you said, you talked about Corbin Carroll being here for a long time. This gives these guys their own look, their own period of time as being the centerpiece of the Diamondbacks. And I feel it couldn't have started out better, with the World Series and obviously, we talked about jersey changes like this. They're in progress for 2 years. So this wasn't something that just occurred because of the success of last postseason. This is something they've been working on for quite a while, but now really couldn't have been a better time to have a new look and make the team a little more exciting. And I think that like Alec Thomas and Jerry P in these jerseys have so much swag. It's the drip is off the charts.
I think there's something to that, and Espo's a very smart man. I think we're starting to see teams plan these things out a little bit. Like maybe these jerseys were even ready last year. Who knows? Maybe they were thinking, we'll maybe implement them for the 2025 season. We know the Padres kind of did that. They were sitting on the brown and mustard, right? The brown and yellow for a little while. They had those awful navy ones that had the bow tie lettering where it said San Diego and it looked like a bow tie. And they were kind of sitting on it, really waiting for that core of guys to come around in 2019. And when Fernando Tatis hit the scene, that was when they unleashed the brown and yellow again. And so I think there's something to that to say, hey, you know what? Let's open the window of contention, bring back a certain look or implement a new look. Could be what the Rockies are doing with the black vest. That has been out of rotation for a couple of years now. And so when the time comes for their next group of players, the next core of young guys, that could be when you see the black vest come back for Colorado.
See, I hate you. I hate the fact you guys are going to get the vests back. I hate the fact you get to keep purple. There's just all sorts of jealousy going on. But, oh, man, it is what it is. I'm just excited. I think Diamondbacks fans should be. And more importantly, you know, you and I had that talk during the postseason where you took a couple of trips to the team shop and you took pictures of what was available. And you were like, why is there just a Madison Bumgarner jersey in the team shop? And I had to tell you, I don't really know. And I mean, this is obviously what we thought was going to happen. But yeah, it kind of confirms why I think we didn't see like a Gabby Moreno or an Alec Thomas jersey readily available at times for these fans that love these guys instantly and wanted their jerseys last year.
Yeah, it's a shame with the logistics of that, as you said. I know obviously there was some supply chain issue that, you know, still kind of impacting some things in 2020 and in 2021. So we might still be feeling somewhat of the effects of that. But you're right. It's great now that besides the fact that you'll be able to get these in the team store, you know, these players are going to be around for several years to come. And it's a good, fun investment, a fair investment really too, on top of that. So
it really is.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for Diamondbacks fans right now.
And no more D-backs. D-backs is dead. We've said they need to change the website. It needs to be diamondbacks.com. Everything needs to be Diamondbacks. I want to see Diamondbacks squished into as many places as we can get it. Let's get ridiculous with it.
Isn't this the PHNX D-backs
Shut up.
podcast?
Shut up. We've already talked about it. We're changing it. Look, you just don't want to deal with trying to fit that Diamondbacks word into that little logo on the baseball thing we got down there, and you know it. But anyway, we're going to put Damon to work, but you know how things go around here. Patrick, of course, I know Circle K still has my little soul trapped in the gas stations. I know you're a fan of that, but Circle K still also has some of the best snacks that you can find. And when I say that, I don't mean just like those national brands. I mean Circle K branded snacks. Circle K branded snacks are not to be slept on, and they're incredible. You know that. You go on trips.
I don't know. And I don't know if they do this or I just got a package sent from you, but those Mesquite potato chips, like those are the ones. And so thank you for sending me that. That
was for me. I knew you missed those. Yeah, you were always eating us out. You were eating all of the ones we had in the office.
It's been a few weeks. Yeah. And it's been a few weeks and there's been a few more studies that have come out. I don't know if you've seen that, if you've read the journals, but studies still show Circle K #1 in the U.S.
Yeah.
Not me. Studies.
Yeah. Studies. You can't argue with studies. Also, studies do say that the Inner Circle membership program, which is free, is one of the best convenience store membership programs you can sign up for. That's what the studies say. I'm not making that claim myself, but what I will say is if you do sign up for it, you'll get 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 fill-ups. You'll also get 3 cents off per gallon every fill-up after that. And you also buy 5, get the 6th one free on a selection of those Circle K products we were talking about are so amazing, including pizza, coffee, and ice cold fountain drinks. So don't miss out on that. You can join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Also got my Shady Rays in the mail. I know you were concerned about that. I got my replacement Shady Rays. Jesse started questioning me. Jesse started heaping shame upon me. He started doing all the things that Shady Rays didn't do just because he felt like somebody should do that to me for losing my sunglasses. And that's why Jesse's not a great manufacturer of sunglasses. But you know who is? Shady Rays, right? Shady Rays, because they have the most insane lost and broken replacement plan in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your Shady Rays, even on day one, they will send you a brand new pair. And Patrick, I know that you have yours on you at all times. Is that right? Did he just freeze?
I think so. Let me check. Where are they?
Oh, there they are. See, that's where mine end up. I think he stole mine, but it doesn't matter because they sent me a new pair. Shady Rays obviously has some incredible eyewear, clear optics, all that stuff, but they also have your back. If you do not love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or for your money back for free within 30 days. No risk at all when you shop. Their team has your back. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Yes, Patrick, we appreciate you so much. Of course, we appreciate OG's Brands. Holidays are right around the corner, so OG's Brands is making it easier for you to maybe treat yourself during this time of the year. You can get 25% off any OG's products at your neighborhood Zen Leaf location from now until November 30th when you place an online order and use our code. And by the way, Thanksgiving is next week. And I'll let you do the math on that, right? I'll let you do the math on that. You take care of the math. It's food times OGs divided by, in parentheses, family plus friends. And you can figure the rest out. But just head to head to zenleafdispensaries.com, find your closest location, order your favorite OG's gummies for pickup, and enter discount code PHNX to get 25% off your order at checkout. The deal is exclusive to our PHNX listeners, and reminder, it's available only for online and pickup orders. Discount code PHNX is active until November 30th. Patty Plantains, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, I appreciate your time as always. You can follow Patrick at Patrick D. Lyons on Twitter. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K. We are all Damon's dogs. Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.
There it is. Yeah, we're a little delayed. It's fine. We'll get this on track one of these days.
I thought it was an arf-arf.
It used to be an arf-arf. Sometimes it's a woof-woof, and sometimes it's a bark-bark.
On you, don't they?
They really do.
That's why you gotta watch live. That's why you gotta watch live.
That's why you gotta watch live. Yeah, but you can follow him at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. He is the people's producer. Our show's at PHNX_DBacks, but of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys. Thank you, Patrick, again. Big thank you to everybody for joining us today. Of course, we will be back on Monday. Jesse will be here. I don't know if I will be. We'll see. Let's leave it up to a surprise. I might just leave him alone next week like he did me. But I got Patty, and that's all that matters. So that's all I need. So we appreciate you guys, of course, for stopping by. I also need you. You guys are very important as well. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when Corbin Carroll finally wins that MVP.
We all silly like the mayor.